Minister, look, I will disagree with the last speaker just at the outset to say I don't think, to be fair, I listened to your speech, I don't think it was self-congratulatory in any way. I think it was an acknowledgement of the resources that have been put in, throughout the pandemic. But we all know, because most of us that are here tonight in this debate come from an educational background or, having worked in health services, and we acknowledge that there's never going to be enough money, for some of the issues that we're talking about here today. And I think that needs to be recognised too, that, we have made an effort in the last couple of months, to target those that are most vulnerable in our society in terms of, improving resources. But unfortunately, there's never going to be enough money, such as the difficulties that we face. Now, I would just like to raise 2 or 3 issues, and I would again welcome feedback at the end in your closing statement. The first issue I'd like to raise is the issue of summer provision, and having worked in a school for the best part of 15 years, I think we all know the problems that are faced, by parents that have to go out and seek that assistance for their children during the summer period. We all know the difficulties we face in getting SNAs and staff to sign up for it, and to be fair, the government this year have tried to streamline it and make it more approachable for staff, but unfortunately, definitely on the ground anyway, I'm hearing that the uptake has been very, very slow. And I acknowledge that the extension that's been granted up to the 25th of June for those applicants is welcome, but I think it probably does mask the fact that the uptake to now has been very, very slow. And I think we need to have a larger think about the system, the way it's delivered every year, because evidently it's very difficult to get people to sign up, and we need to change. So look, I just lay that out first. The second thing I'd like to add is just in relation to the summer provision is specifically, I think that there should be a department-run portal. It's sad to see online that parents and sometimes schools have created ad hoc portals themselves to get people and teachers to advertise themselves and their availability over the summer period. I think that that's something that perhaps the ETBs and the department should be running, that kind of a portal themselves. Also, I'd just like to mention that could you just clarify as well in regards to the application for summer provision? I understand that people have a choice of either availing of home support or school support, and there's no, I suppose, ability to avail of both. And if that's something that could be looked at, if a child might go to school for a portion of that summer provision and then maybe avail of it at home as well, that's something I think that would open it up to greater numbers. I'd also like just to mention, at the outset that another deputy mentioned it earlier, the As I Am report, which was published this week, the Every Child Counts report, and evidently 2/3 of people are dissatisfied with the service that they're receiving, and 40% said that children regressed during the pandemic. And unfortunately, these are the facts that we have to face up to. And we need to obviously pump extra resources into our children, into our schools, and into this sector. Secondly, Minister, can I just mention the issue of the Rainbow Club in Cork? They do great work, and they've recently located a building on the south side of the city, and that was after much difficulty. Now, they receive no departmental funding, and they do great work. They pay for all their own therapies. They employ their own therapists and their own OTs and so on. And then, unfortunately, obviously the parents and the children that avail of those services, have to contribute to that. And I think it's €20 per head per therapy that they contribute at present. I do believe it's a service that's worthwhile or worth to be publicly funded. They're also looking at a building, a disused HSE building in Mahon at present, and I've written to the head of the HSE in the South-South-West Hospital Group today to inquire about that property, Minister. So I would hope that maybe you could use your good offices as well to question whether the HSE could rent or lease that building to the Rainbow Club. You've probably seen online, especially on Twitter, their autistic baker Sean O'Mahony and their cottage cafe, community cafe that they have. They're doing great work there with children in teaching them life skills, and I think that needs to be recognised through state funding. And just one last thing, just mention it again about ASD provision that we have nationally. I know that we're all acknowledging that children have regressed in this period and it's been very challenging, but it must be said that I think we need to look at our overall approach to ASD schooling in our mainstream schools. The strategy and the discretion that schools have, I think, needs to be challenged, it needs to be changed, and I think a demand-led service needs to be brought in. Thank you. Deputy.